92.5 KJJY, Jacob Beals checking in, and I got a really cool guest, JayJay from the Iowa Gallivant. JayJay, how are you doing today?
We're doing great. We're over here in northwest Iowa doing a big Tenderloin swing and some other projects like the Burgers and Back Roads of Western Iowa Western Iowa Tourism. So, we're just enjoying Western Iowa right now.
I love that, JayJay. And a few months back on TikTok, I discovered you. I was just scrolling through like most days, and you popped up on my screen, and this Tenderloin project you're doing, it's so impressive. Could you kind of describe it in your own words?
Yeah. So we picked this project for this year and next year. Each year we kind of do a different project. One year was Iowa's worst road trip, casing the state for the best sausage. So WURST. And that led into a book I published in November, Rural Iowa Sausage. So that was really successful. We did best between bread, best hometown tacos. So, and then now this 99 pork tenderloins. So we're going to each county, all 99, and propping up one breaded pork tenderloin from each of the counties. And we have like our list of places that I kind of pre-picked that we're still going to some of them because I just know they're going to be awesome. But I'm also letting our fans kind of guide us a little bit because we see a lot of comments come up on these videos of where else we should go. So those have been really helpful. And locals always lead you in the right direction. That's one way I travel is I have a little bit of an agenda, but if the locals tell me I need to go this way and over there and zag that way, then I'm going to do that.
Absolutely. I was actually kind of wondering at what kind of pattern you chose. That's interesting. And you're right. You got to follow those locals. They know the places. They know the stops for those great tenderloins, don't they?
Yeah. And if you look at our logo, there's a paper airplane on it. And my wife actually designed that. And I said, what's with the paper airplane? She said, that's the way you travel. You have a target, but you're going to loop and swoop and go right, left, up, and down before you get there. So, and that's exactly right. So, and this 99 tenderloin thing has been supremely popular as I was predicting. Key Apparel, they are one of the folks that are kind of along for the ride at this thing because they designed the shirts I'm wearing. You'll see like the tenderloin shirts, and then they also designed a bunch of other cool products because they started my own clothing line in April.
Oh, so that's cool.
Kind of a good way to get that out too. So yeah.
Well, I've seen that shirt in your videos. It's pretty epic. And I love that I know the reason behind the paper airplane now. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that, JayJay. So your kind of whole project in general, the Iowa Gallivant, that's like your website and your social pages. How did you get started with that in the first place?
Yeah, we're in our 10th anniversary actually. And it's if you go to our Facebook page, you can see our Key Apparel merchandise site where you can get our anniversary shirts that say established 2014. And it started out just as a family scrapbooking project that I used WordPress for because that seemed like the easiest way to do it. And I was taking about 3 months off in between the job I had and going and starting for the school district in Iowa City. So my wife and I got together and she's like, you know what, why don't you take a couple months off, take the kids around to these little towns you've been wanting to go to, write about them like you've been wanting to. And that's what we did. And then this is before we had any social media presence. I only had a personal Facebook page and I wasn't always posting to that.
Uh-huh.
And I looked at this thing called stats on my WordPress page. And there's like a term that was called unique views. And I looked at that and we were getting tens of thousands of unique views on our stuff. And we realized we had something going here and it could really morph into something very popular. And it did. And it was actually very popular from the get-go because people not only love reading about small towns, but they're very intrigued by them. And especially the folks that moved away from these small towns we were going to really appreciated our attention on them because they've been telling like their friends and family and coworkers for like maybe 20, 30 years about their hometown. And then now there's a guy going to a town of population 300 and writing about it. And they're like, that's it. And we always say smaller the town, the bigger the market when it comes to the Iowa Gallivant.
Well, absolutely, JayJay. I come from a small town, Sheraton, Iowa, and there's just something about there's this charm and there's like this mystery, and I've always been fascinated and intrigued by small towns. So I love that you pursued that and you're doing it as like this project that's turned into something. It's going 10 years plus now. That's really cool.
Yep, that's right.
Awesome.
That's right.
And you said you landed on tenderloins for this latest project. So is there another maybe Iowa food in the future you might tackle? Like one that comes to mind that I love is ham balls. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. 99 ham balls. I love it. So yeah.
That one might be a little harder to find. It's a little more niche,
Yeah.
but they're so good.
Oh, we could probably find some. We could probably find some potlucks and things like that. That could help us out with that. I do know some restaurants that have great ham balls. One of my favorite ones is a barbecue place in Fairfield, and they have smoked ham balls. And oh my God, they are the truth. I mean, they are so good. There's a place in Knoxville that has great ham balls. There's a place in the little town of Tingley in Ringgold County that has ham balls, not too far from your hometown there.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, so they are kind of obscure, but they're easier to find than you would think. You just got to kind of look at those places that have like a different special every day, you know? So like today will be hot beef, and the next day will be ham balls, and the next day will be, roast pork. And so, yeah, that's now we're on a totally different subject. This is great. This is how I travel. This is how I talk.
Absolutely, JayJay. Well,
yeah.
You mentioned hot beef. Actually, one of my favorites of your tenderloin videos so far, one of them looked like it was like a hot beef sandwich. It had like gravy on it. Where was that one? Do you remember?
That was at Stout's Irish Pub in Clinton, Iowa. Oh my Lord! So they use a batter for their pork tenderloins, and it's so crunchy, and it's just scorching hot when it comes out of the fryer. And they have your traditional pork tenderloin sandwich, but they also have an extra menu with all sorts of different tenderloin concoctions. And what I got was, I believe that it was called the Blarney Castle, and it was topped with mashed potatoes and gravy with a side of corn. And yeah, that was some good eating. My wife got one that was served over French fries. The battered tenderloin was in between two pieces of toasted Texas toast, topped with sausage gravy and two eggs. So, oh my gosh. So yeah, the place in Clinton, they are really coming up with some great ideas. It's called Stout. It's right over by the casino too. So yeah.
I'm going to have to make it over there sometime, JayJay. I love the sounds of that.
Yeah. I actually just had friends that went over last night because of what we did on social media.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, JayJay, before I let you go, I got one more question. Is there like a tenderloin that you got to get to because you've heard so many comments on it that's still ahead in your future soon?
It is. There is one, and you got to wait.
That's okay. I was wondering if you'd say that, but no, I love that you're keeping it a mystery. That's a good idea.
There is one that I will not pass up. I'm going to that for sure, but you will have to wait till I announce that one. And when we're all done with this project, I will be announcing my favorite tenderloin. So yeah, and our slogan with the Iowa Gallivant is our favorite destination is the next one.
Yeah.
And however, I will be picking my favorite when this whole 99 madness ends. And you never know, that might change in the future or even shortly thereafter, because my favorite tenderloin has actually changed probably 10 times throughout my life. That's not more, because of all the traveling we're doing. I had my go-to tenderloin for maybe 20 years. We start the Iowa Gallivant, and I start having different ones and different styles, and it kept changing. So when I announce my favorite restaurant for a tenderloin, it could very well change in the near future.
Well, hey, that's okay. Like you say, you're always exploring and looking for that next thing. I love that. And JayJay, they can catch you anywhere, the Iowa Gallivant, on all social medias, right? And the website too, of course. That's
right. And everybody, you cannot spell routine without rut. So let's do something different this summer. Go somewhere different, whether it's a small town or a different neighborhood in your area, or a different restaurant, or going out on a Wednesday rather than a Friday. Like I said, you can't spell routine without rut. Break it up a little bit. You will see a whole different world when you start to do that.
Absolutely. Well, JayJay, thanks so much for taking some time to talk to me. I appreciate it. This has been a lot of fun.
You're welcome. Anytime, buddy.